Today we're exploring the critical engineering elements behind mobile directional control valves, focusing on Parker's industry-leading solutions. Joining me are three experts from Parker's Hydraulic Valve Systems Division, Joe Pulizari, Taylor Berry, and Brandon Smith. Welcome.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Good to be here.
Thanks. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to discuss Parker's Hydraulic Valve Solutions and your mobile sectional valve products. This segment is often seen as one of the more complex in the Parker's portfolio, so I'm sure our audience will find this very insightful.
Absolutely. Happy to dive in.
Great. Thanks, Joe. So, Joe, let's start with you on the basics. From an engineering standpoint, why are directional control valves so critical in today's mobile hydraulic systems?
Directional control valves are basically like the air traffic controllers in a hydraulic system. So their main responsibility is to direct oil throughout the system to power different actuators. But then they also have the responsibility to kind of enable that precise control that you see on mobile equipment. So critical components to a hydraulic system. And then they're often installed in really tight, compact places on machines that are operating in sometimes really rough environments. So, things like reliability, robustness, and then, of course, responsiveness and efficiency are all really critical.
And tell us about some of these harsh environments that your products are made to work in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so there's a lot of variability out there, but if you can imagine, like in the agriculture industry or construction and mining, there's going to be a lot of dust and debris in the air, which can easily infiltrate a hydraulic system and cause problems with contamination and so on. Then you also have temperature considerations. So we sell valves that'll go on mobile machines that have to operate in maybe like the harsh winters of, say, Minnesota, for example. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have the harsh summers of, say, like in Arizona. So that's something we have to consider as well. But then you also have industries like forestry, which these machines are often operating in really independently and remote, away from any kind of service centers or things like that, operating at really high duty cycles, high pressure, 20 hours a day, 50 weeks out of the year, and really, really tough terrain. So yeah, a lot to consider.
Got it. And then on the technology side, let's expand upon that a little bit. Maybe Taylor, you can jump in.
Yeah.
When engineers specify mobile directional control valves, what are the top design factors that they should consider?
Yeah, great question, Mark. First and foremost, when an engineer is designing a system, there's some high-level considerations like flow capacity and pressure rating of that mobile valve. But then as you get a little deeper, there's things like response time. How quickly do you want that actuator to move? And that's usually driven by the system demand and what you need that function to achieve. Like Joe talked about, there's things like durability and reliability considerations, driven by kind of the environment and maybe the harsh conditions that the machine is exposed to. And then something like footprint and weight is a vital consideration for engineers to look at as well. And then another one that comes to mind is energy efficiency. That's an important consideration for any mobile machine and any valve that you're designing into that machine. And lastly, maybe I'll mention there's some ancillary things or some kind of advanced features like advanced controls, closed loop control, maybe work port accessories, maybe other details of what that valve can accomplish. So there's some other lower level concerns beyond those things, but those are kind of the basics.
Joe, can you give us a high-level overview of Parker's mobile directional control valves?
Yeah, so sure thing, Mark. We have a lot of mobile products, obviously. So internally, we like to kind of separate them into two groups. We have our open center product line, and then we have our load sense pressure compensated product line. So starting with open center, first valves we'll talk about are bankable products. We have BV06 and BV18 valves. So BV06 operating at about 6 GPM nominal flow, and BV18 at about 18 gallons per minute nominal flow. So these valves are really modular and compact and great for things like outriggers and truck mounted cranes and winches. They run on 12 or 24 volts. They're electric only, on off. So they're great for any really application where you need electric control, but proportionality is maybe not really a concern. Plus, they're rated at up to 3,000 PSI for BV06 and 5,000 PSI in BV18. So they're tough enough for most mobile applications. So then we have our Greason valves and our commercial intertech valves and our V10 valve, V20, the VAVG20, VAVG35 lines. And these valves are really, really popular historically in the truck markets. So refuse, for example, or aerial lifts, wreckers, things of that nature. So really robust valves, pressure characteristics up to 3,500 PSI, flows up to 70 gallons per minute. And historically, they're really known for their great meterability, as well as pressure drop characteristics, which gives really good efficiency, even being an open center product. Then, lastly, on the open center line, we have our P70 valve, which is good up to about 25 gallons per minute. Highly versatile in terms of actuation methods. You have electric actuation, both on, off, and proportional. You have hydraulic remote, pneumatic actuation, or even just simply manual. We see it a lot in the snow and ice industries, as well as like the mini skid steer markets, things of that nature. Like I said, really versatile. Pressures up to 4,500 PSI means it's really suitable for any application you could think of out there. Then on the load sense pressure compensated side of it, starting with VP and VPL, these are great valves that people have traditionally used in, like, say, like the mining industry or drilling industries. Our best-selling product, by the way, but they're good up to 55 gallons per minute and over 4,000 PSI. But the intention of these products is that since they're load sense and pressure compensated, they really offer that kind of extreme precision that some customers require for various applications, especially in those kind of industries that are out there. So, and then finally we have our flagship products, which are the L90 and the K220 valves. And these are really top of the line products out there in the industry. So really high pressure ratings at 5,000 PSI a piece. L90 is good for up to about 30 gallons per minute. K220 is good for up to about 60 gallons per minute. But these are pretty much our most robust products that are out there, really known for their reliability. We sell a ton of them to the forestry industry, for example, which I kind of mentioned previously, that really need a robust, reliable product out there because of the high intensity of the application that's out there. And then they also offer kind of advanced features too, which, like, for example, would be like a specialized manifold sections. So where we have a catalog selection of specialized manifolds already pre-configured for certain applications, where a lot of times with our competitive product, they might have to spend a lot of time designing something specific for that application. We could implement it straight out of the catalog, which saves customers a lot of time and ultimately money.
Great overview. Can you talk a little bit about the challenges customers face when selecting the right valves for their application?
Yeah, Brandon, maybe you want to handle that one?
Yeah, of course. Something we like to say at Parker HVS is that valves have to be applied, not sold. So what we mean by that is getting a deep understanding of the hydraulic system as well as our customers' performance needs out of that system. So what we typically start with is the pump type. Are we dealing with fixed displacement or are we dealing with variable displacement? That will lead us into a certain valve technology, whether that be a open center valve with fixed or a load sense pressure compensated valve with variable displacement. After that, we'll lead into what are the flow rates you need in that application, actuation method, pilot controls, things of this nature that we'll evaluate after we've determined the valve technology. And most importantly, we need to understand what that customer wants to achieve with that solution. What is the work they're trying to be done and how do they want it done? So really the root of it all begins with a deep understanding of the application, and that kind of drives how we specify valves and select valves.
Yeah, Brandon, and if I could, just one more thing to add would be the importance of serviceability in the valve. When it comes to minimizing downtime for our customers, virtually all of our valves are a modular or sectional design, which really allows customers to perform some of that service in the field in case there is repairs that need to be done. So, rather than having to take that entire valve out of the machine, you can just replace components in one section and get back up and running as quickly as possible. So what this does is it just reduces those operating costs in the field for our customers, which is a real value that we feel we can add.
Thanks, Taylor. Does the selection and specification process vary by industry, and what are some of the competitive advantages that Parker has?
Yeah, definitely, Mark. Our industry and the customer we're working with absolutely matters. For instance, we could be dealing with a customer in construction. They might care about cycle times, reliability in those harsh environments that Joe was talking about earlier. Dust, vibration, debris. Really, they require something a bit more robust. Whereas we might be talking about an agricultural application, perhaps, where they might be more concerned with regulatory emission standards or efficiencies, things like that. So it can vary not only industry by industry, but customer to customer. So it's really understanding what the customer's needs is and what they value on how we select valves. But our competitive edge really lies with our ability at Hydraulic Valve Systems to pair our comprehensive product lineup with a unique application out there so that we can have a custom fit and catered solution for our customers.
Brandon, can you share some real-world examples of where Parker's directional control valve made a significant impact?
Of course, yeah. One that actually comes to mind right now is a blast drill rig we did for the mining and quarrying industry. This is a piece of equipment that's used to drill a hole prior to blasting out substrate in a mining application. And this particular customer, it's really critical that they balance that vertical speed of the drilling, piece of equipment and the rotary head, the auger that's doing the drilling, with the amount of force they are pushing into the substrate. So it's that really balance that they're really critical for their application. And that can vary greatly, of course. In this application, you could be drilling through rock that's incredibly hard and you need to go slow, or you're drilling through something as soft as soil as a substrate and you need to go quick. So the previous solution that they had been using involved multiple valves. It was a bit cumbersome, overcomplicated, and we actually were able to collaborate with our global mobile systems engineers up in Elk Grove. These guys pull in equipment. They look at top down and try to analyze how we can add value. We worked closely with them to develop something we call a combination valve, and we applied the K220 and L90 flagship valves all in one stack to be able to deliver a tight, needy solution to this customer that enabled them to reduce complexity on their machine, footprint as well, and they also simplified their maintenance responsibilities as well.
So that sounds like a nice benefit. Well, the modular designs of Parker's directional control valves. You have any other examples?
Yes, Mark. Modularity is absolutely something that's really beneficial on our design. This, combined with the sheer number of options we have on our flagship valves, really translates to a highly custom product and solution that fits our customer's application nearly perfectly. When I talk about those options, we're referring to spool options, actuator options, port options, inlet types, things of that nature that all are actually standard products for these valves. So that flexibility allows us, one, to react and be able to create a valve more quickly, but also unlocks easier maintenance for our customers because it's all standard. They're common parts, it's simplified repair process, things of that nature. So the modular design really allows our customers to simplify their systems and really benefit from it.
Yeah, I've got another example. If you don't mind, I'll introduce. We had, we have a lot of customers that kind of want the best of both worlds. So typically, when you're analyzing a mobile valve solution, you're considering either an open center solution or a pre-comp or pressure comp load sense solution. And we've talked kind of a little bit about those products from a valve standpoint, but from a system standpoint, there's a cost equation that comes into play as well. So the open center solution is usually lower cost. The load sense solution is a little bit higher cost, and it has to do with the pump and all the other elements in that system. So we actually had a customer that kind of wanted the best of both worlds, not uncommon. And again, working with the team at Global Mobile Systems, we used one of our open center valves, our P70 line, in combination with our pump division's P1M electronic displacement pump to come up with kind of a hybrid solution to offer them that pressure comp type of valve performance using an open center valve. So again, it gave them kind of the best of both worlds in a sense that they were able to save some money on the system, and they were able to get that higher performance level from the components. So it's just a good demonstration, I think, of number one, our product breadth, but number two, our engineering expertise and our systems design expertise to really give that customer a valued solution that meets their needs.
Thanks, Taylor. Very informative. Before we wrap up today, I'd really like to explore a little bit more. Let's talk about what really sets Parker apart in the mobile directional control valve market. And maybe, Joe, I can turn it back to you. Can you start by telling us about Parker's product breadth and how that benefits the customers?
Yeah, sure, Mark, and these guys kind of touched on it already, but really the sheer breadth of Parker's product portfolio in hydraulic mobile sectional valves is really one of our key competitive advantages that are out there. So whether a customer needs a really simple light-duty valve for a light-duty application, or they need something really intensive, a robust, highly precise valve for something really intense on the industrial side of things, we have a solution for them. We also have the capabilities of combining cartridge and manifold product with our mobile sectional valves, which is almost kind of unique out there in the industry, having both a full lineup of mobile sectional product and then also having the cartridge and manifold side as well. And then coming up with unique combinations of both of those things to really get there and hone in on precise applications that are really unique to certain customers that are out there. So yeah, I would say it's a great advantage for us to have all that in our portfolio.
Yeah, and Joe, one other thing that I would add too as a key benefit of working with Parker HVS is our digital resources too. We have a software called eCyber, Mark, that we use with our valves, and this is a digital valve configurator. And we have this software capable, and available to our distributors, our customers, and us here at HVS. But it's a very quick and efficient way of producing hydraulic schematics, 2D and 3D drawings, spare parts list for your valves, a comprehensive bill of materials, all of which just a few clicks away through this eCyber system we have. And it's available for all of our valves, more or less. We have all on the L90 to K220, P70, VPL, all of our next-gen valves as well that I'm sure Joe will talk about today as well, our VA130, 300, and 450, bankables as well, and we're constantly adding new valves to this software as well. And not just mobile, industrial and cartridge valves as well. So this is a really, really nice benefit and allows us to put together a nice, tidy document package for our customers. Another thing too, eCyber really speeds up the process, right? It enables our applications engineers to really deliver a comprehensive valve solution very quickly. This also reduces the potential for errors down the road and really unlocks that knowledge capability from our customer's standpoint. They know everything that goes into our valve, all the guts, all the processes, all the bill of materials is at their fingertips. So it's a really valuable tool for our customers.
Great. Sounds like a real time saver. Appreciate that. Taylor, I'll turn it back to you. How does Parker's sales and distribution network support customers in finding the right valve solutions?
Yeah, they're a key part of what we do. We're super proud, Mark, to work with the most capable fluid power distribution channel in North America. We have a number of distributor partners that have deep systems design expertise, key relationships with valuable customers, and a lot of years of experience doing those things and specifying our products. So our channel is an integral part of what we do. I think no matter where a customer is located in the country, they'll know that there's a Parker distributor nearby that they can work with. And those distributors have the knowledge that they need to spec the right valve solution. So a key part of what we do and a valuable part of our business.
Nice. Speaking of distributors and customers, any particular technology trends that you'd like to talk about, Joe?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So electrification is still a big trend out there where customers are really looking at the advancements in modern technology and looking to implement some of that into their systems, whether it be from an enhanced controllability or efficiency and connectivity to the overall system, things of that nature. And then on the other side of things, I would say that simplification is a growing trend as well, where systems designers are really looking, for valve designers to incorporate some simple concepts into their valves to make it a little bit more compatible or easily compatible with their system, easily configurable, things of that nature. But then, of course, they still want the performance and the high efficiency standards that they're used to there. So, and that's really where the art comes into play in designing these mobile valves. And it's really finding creative ways to offer customers both of those things.
Great. So can you give us some examples of, or some insight on what customers can expect from Parker in terms of future technologies and mobile directional control valves to keep up with these trends?
Yeah, absolutely. So the future of Parker mobile sectional valves is really exciting. So we're investing really heavily in smart hydraulics, for example, and giving customers features like adaptive controls, where the machine is able to automatically adjust its controls based on the operating conditions, or onboard and remote diagnostics, or things like predictive maintenance that are all growing trends within the industry right now. So, for example, our new VA line of valves that Brandon mentioned previously are, really a family of valves that cover a really wide flow range, which are all combinable, by the way. So you could take, multiple valves and combine them in the same valve stack to control actuators on machines with varying different flow ranges, which is really convenient for the customer, really neat to have. But then they also have more advanced features like CAN actuators, for example, with integrated pressure sensors and position sensors that really give customers that kind of closed loop type of control, all at 5,000 plus PSI, which is really just sets the standard for the next level of Parker valve products that are coming out there. But then we have a new open center line of products as well, where we're kind of enhancing some of those features, so better actuation methods, higher working pressures, wider flow range within those products, better meterability and things like that. And then also incorporating some of those advanced controls as options for customers that kind of want that higher performance and higher efficiency, but can't really justify the extra cost of having like a load sense pressure compensated system in there. So, all these designs we're making and all these innovations we're making with what customers really care about in mind. And that's kind of like, improved machine uptime, things like, reduced energy costs and emissions, and things like that, things that are really driving factors for what a customer is deciding when they're looking for a valve manufacturer.
I appreciate you guys sharing these insights. It's clear that Parker's combination of a broad product range, powerful specification tools, strong distribution partners, and a focus on future technology truly sets you guys apart. I really appreciate your time today, and thank you again for joining us.
Great. Thanks, Mark.
Mark.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.